Good day and welcome to One-on-One Maths Private Tutors. Today we are looking at O-Level and IGCSE Mathematics. The topic is completing the square. In the previous video, we learned how to solve quadratic equations by factorizing. If we are given x squared minus 4x plus 3, this expression can be factorized. We use the coefficient of x squared and the numerical term here. In this case, the coefficient of x squared is 1. So we say 1 times 3, then we get 3. Then we look for factors of 3, which when we add will give us minus 4, which is the coefficient of the middle term. So these factors are minus 1 and minus 3. Minus 1 minus 3 will give us minus 4. Minus 1 times minus 3 will give us 3. So we break down this middle term using these factors. So we have x squared or 1x squared minus x or minus 1x minus 3x plus 3. Then we factorize here and factorize there. X is common, so x factor of x or 1x minus 1 minus 3 factor of x minus 1. Then we factor out this common term, x minus 1, x minus 3. If it is an equation, it will be equal to 0, equal to 0, equal to 0, equal to 0. Then from there, we can say x minus 1 is equal to 0 or x minus 3 is equal to 0. Then we get our solutions as x is equal to 1 or x is equal to 3. Now, there are some equations where you cannot solve by factorization, such as this equation cannot be solved by factorization since this expression cannot be factorized. In this case, we solve the equation by what is called completing the square. Now, in completing the square, if we have a quadratic expression, let's take the left-hand side of this equation, x squared minus 4x plus 1. An expression in the form ax squared plus bx plus c, similar to this one above, can be expressed in the form ax minus h squared plus k, where ah and k are numbers. Now we use the coefficient of x squared, the coefficient of x, and the constant c to find the values of h and k. The coefficient of x squared here is 1, so we can say a is equal to 1. The coefficient of x squared is 1. B is equal to minus 4, and c is equal to 1. To find the value of h, we say h is equal to minus b over 2a. And to find the value of k, we say k is equal to c minus b squared over 4a. And we have to recall these two equations or formulas. Now, the value of h is equal to minus 4 over 2 times 1, which we can obtain from our calculator by saying fraction, then minus is for the sign, this minus is for subtracting, then bracket minus 4 over 2 times 1 is 2, which will give us 2. So our k is equal to c, which is 1, minus b squared minus 4 squared over 4 times 1. 1 minus, this minus is for subtraction. Then we have our fraction, bracket, minus 4 squared over 4 times 1 is 4, which will give us minus 3. Now, we can substitute our values of a, h, and k into this expression. And so it becomes x squared minus 4x plus 1 is equal to 1 bracket x minus h, which is 2, squared plus minus 3. Plus minus gives us a minus, so we can just say minus 3. And since this one is just multiplying there, we can remove this one. So now our expression, x squared minus 4x plus 1, has been transformed to the completed square form, which is bracket of x minus 2 squared minus 3. Now we can solve the equation. X squared minus 4x plus 1 is equal to 0, and we replace all this with the completed square form to say x minus 2 squared minus 3 is equal to 0. Now we can move this minus 3 to that side and have x minus 2 squared is equal to 3. Square root both sides. X minus 2, the square root has effect of cancelling the square. So we have x minus 2 is equal to plus or minus 3. Correction here, this should be plus or minus square root of 3. Why plus or minus? If we have a square number, let's say 36, we can say 36 is equal to 6 times 6, or 36 is equal to minus 6 times minus 6. So square root of 36 is either 6 or square root of 36 is equal to minus 6. Since negative times negative will give a positive, then 6 times 6 will give 36. From there, we can take this minus 2 to that side, it becomes positive. X is equal to 2 plus or minus the square root of 3. And what this means is either x is equal to 2 plus square root of 3, or x is equal to 2 minus the square root of 3. So these are the possible solutions. Our question asks us to give our answer correct to 2 decimal places. So we can put it on a calculator and say 2 plus square root of 3 is equal to, express it as a decimal, 3.73. So x is equal to 3.73, or x is equal to, we come back to our calculator, replace the plus with a minus, then we express it as a decimal, round it off to the decimal places. Since 7 is greater than 5, we add 1 here to the 6 to have 0.27. So these are our 2 solutions. So the summary is that if we cannot factorize an expression, we first have to put it in the completed square form. And we use this formula to find h and k, the values in our completed square form. Then we can use the completed square form to solve the quadratic and obtain our solutions to the required number of decimal places, or we can leave them as sets where required. Let's look at this question. Solve the equation by completing the square. 5x squared minus x minus 1 is equal to 0. Now the left-hand side is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c, where a is equal to 5, b is equal to minus 1, and c is equal to minus 1. To complete the square here, we need to express it in the form a x minus h squared plus k, where h is equal to minus b over 2a and k is equal to c minus b squared over 4a. Now we look for h and k. H here is equal to minus 1 over 2 times 5. From our calculator, we have minus 1 over 2 times 5 is 10, which is 1 over 10. K is equal to minus 1 minus 1 squared over 4 times 5, which we can find from our calculator, minus 1 minus 1 close bracket squared over 20. 4 times 5 is 20, which will give us minus 21 over 20. Now, 5x squared minus x minus 1 is equal to 0, can be written in the completed square form as 5 bracket x minus 1 over 10 squared minus 21 over 20 is equal to 0. Now we can take minus 21 over 20 to that side. We have 5 bracket x minus 1 over 10 squared is equal to 21 over 20. We cross multiply this 5 there. It will be x minus 1 over 10 squared being equal to 5 times 20, 100. So we'll have 21 over 100. We square root both sides. Then this square cancels out with the square root. We have x minus 1 over 10 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 21 over 100. This can be simplified by saying plus or minus square root of 21 over square root of 100, and square root of 100 is 10. So this will be equal to plus or minus the square root of 21 over 10. The left-hand side is x minus 1 over 10. Now we take this minus 1 over 10. To that side, we have x is equal to 1 over 10 plus or minus the square root of 21 over 10. Common denominator, we can say x is equal to 1 plus or minus the square root of 21 over 10. To 2 decimal places, we can use our calculator to say fraction 1 plus square root of 21 all over 10. And we get 0.56. So we can say x is equal to 0.56, or x is equal to, we replace the plus with a minus, then we have minus 0.36 to 2 decimal places. So those are the solutions to this equation. Now, questions may come where you just have to write expressions in completed square form. Let's look at this. Write these quadratic expressions in completed square form: a x plus b squared plus c. So this form is exactly the same as a bracket x minus h squared plus k. So we'll just use this form that we know. So we'll say for a, we can write this expression as 1 x squared plus 6x minus 3. Then we'll say A is equal to 1, B is equal to 6, and C is equal to minus 3. Now we know H is equal to minus B over 2A. So our H here is minus 6 over 2 times 1, which is 2. Minus 6 over 2 is equal to minus 3. And K is equal to C minus B squared over 4A. Our K here is minus 3 minus 6 squared over 4 times 1, which we can obtain from our calculator as minus 3 minus the fraction of 6 squared over 4 times 1 is 4, which is equal to minus 12. Now we substitute A, 1, H minus 3, and K minus 12 into this equation. So we can say x squared plus 6x minus 3 is equal to A, which is 1, bracket, x minus H is minus 3 minus minus 3 squared plus minus 12. Now we simplify these signs. Multiplying by 1, we may not write the 1. So we say x minus minus is plus 3 squared plus minus is minus 12. So this is the answer, the completed square form. Now let's look at P. We want to express this in the form A, x minus h squared plus k, where h is equal to minus b over 2a and k is equal to c minus b squared over 4a. Now from here we can say a is equal to 3, b is equal to 15, c is equal to 14. So we use these values to find h and k. For our h, we have minus 15 over 2 times 3, which is minus 15 over 6. In its lowest terms, 3 into 6, 2, 3 into 15, 5, which is minus 5 over 2. For our k, we have 14 minus 15 squared over 4 times 3, which we can obtain from our calculator. 14 minus the fraction of 15 squared over 4 times 3, which is minus 19 over 4. Now we take these values of A, H, and K and substitute them in there. So now we can say 3x squared plus 15x plus 14 is equal to 3 bracket x minus 5 over 2 squared plus k, which is minus 19 over 4. We simplify the signs, then we have 3x plus 5 over 2 squared minus 19 over 4 as our completed square form. So we have transformed this form to the completed square form. Thank you.